glowing softly, like candles fading in the rain. And somewhere in that crowded silence, love was learning loss again. People gathered near the entrance, holding memories in their hands, trying hard to stay composed there, trying hard to understand. The monk stood calm among the sorrow, offering blessings one by one, while tired hearts beneath the ceiling knew the journey home had come. Some had traveled many miles just to stand beside that grace. Some had found their healing slowly, simply looking at those faces. And near the line beside the doorway, a faithful soul refused to move, watching every step in silence, like his heart already knew. Where even Aloka couldn't let go, the whole room felt the ache, because peace had walked among us and changed every heart it touched away. Where even Aloka couldn't let go, tears moved quietly through the night, as if love itself was grieving beneath the airport lights. The walk for peace had crossed the country, through the heat and through the rain, bringing comfort to the weary, helping strangers heal their pain. Stories rose like whispered prayers about hope returning again, about kindness entering softly where loneliness had always been. Some were smiling through the sorrow, some just stared into the sky, trying hard to hold the moment before the final goodbye. Maybe love is not possession, maybe mercy must move on, like the moon across the water, like the ending of a song. But every peaceful step they carry still remains inside us now, in the way we speak more gently, in the way our hearts allow, where even Aloka couldn't let go. We all stood still inside, because something sacred touched us before it disappeared into the night, where even Aloka couldn't let go. Compassion left its light, and every soul beneath that ceiling felt forever changed that night. The plains vanished into darkness, but peace stayed here somehow.
Some goodbyes leave emptiness, and some leave light behind. The terminal was full of silence. After all the tears were gone, only echoes and soft footsteps lingering before the dawn. People slowly gathered memories like fragile treasures from the night, holding on to every blessing, every calm and gentle smile. The monks had walked through towns and cities, carrying peace from place to place, and somehow every weary stranger saw hope reflected in their face. Even Aloka by the doorway still kept watching through the glass, like he could not understand why beautiful things never gentle word they spoke. Some had followed every footstep of the long walk through the land. Some arrived there only briefly, still they felt transformed somehow. Stories filled the crowded evening about healing and release, about learning how to soften, about rediscovering peace. And though the planes would soon be leaving, something deeper chose to stay, a kindness planted in the spirit that time cannot erase away. Maybe peace is not a moment, maybe it becomes a seed, growing quietly through sorrow, through compassion, through our needs. Because every mile of mercy, every patient breath and prayer leaves behind a softer world for hurting souls to share. The peace that stayed after goodbye will never fade away. It lives inside the hearts awakened along the quiet way. The peace that stayed after goodbye still shines beneath the pain, and every soul once touched by kindness will never be the same. The airport lights grew dimmer, but peace kept glowing on.
No one wanted to speak too loudly. That night felt sacred somehow. In the silence beneath the airport lights, people stood with trembling hands, trying hard to hold the moment, trying hard to understand. The monks moved softly through the terminal, with calmness in their eyes, while grief and gratitude together drifted underneath the sky. Some people carried flowers, some carried stories in their hearts, about healing after sorrow, about finding light in dark. And somewhere near the moving crowds, Aloka waited faithfully, like devotion had become the language of what love is meant to be. In the silence beneath the airport lights, every heartbeat felt like prayer. Every tear became a memory, floating softly through the air. In the silence beneath the airport lights, we learn what mercy means. Not power, not fame, not glory, but kindness quietly seen. The walk for peace had changed the people more than words could ever show. Like rain upon a thirsty garden, helping hidden goodness grow. Some had nearly lost all hope in the noise of modern days. Then compassion walked beside them and slowly changed their ways. The airport seemed almost suspended outside of ordinary time, like everyone was holding on to something impossible to define. Maybe sacred moments happen not inside the grandest halls, but in tired hearts awakening at a quiet boarding call. Because peace does not arrive loudly, it enters slow and deep, and leaves a light inside the spirit the soul can always keep. In the silence beneath the airport lights, love remained though they moved on. And every soul who stood there grieving felt less alone before the dawn. In the silence beneath the airport lights, compassion touched the air, and something beautiful between us still remains there.
There are moments life prepares us for, and moments that still break the heart. No matter how much grace surrounds them, no matter where the endings start, that night beneath the airport ceiling, people gathered close in tears, trying hard to thank the kindness that had carried them for years. The monks stood quietly among them, peaceful even in goodbye, like candles glowing through the darkness underneath the midnight sky. When gentle souls must part, the whole world seems too slow, because kindness leaves an echo deeply cherished place. The walk for peace had crossed the country, through crowded roads and summer rain, touching lonely hearts in silence, helping strangers heal their pain. Stories move throughout the gathering about hope and second chances, about learning how to breathe again inside life's difficult dances. And faithful little Aloka could not bear the leaving too, standing near the final boarding line, watching every movement through. Maybe sorrow is love, remembering what the heart cannot release. Maybe tears are proof that mercy once walked beside us peacefully. Because no one there was mourning, only struggling with goodbye to something pure and deeply human beneath the airport sky. When gentle souls must part, their kindness still remains inside every life they softened, inside every heart they changed. When gentle souls must part, the road goes on somehow, but peace keeps walking with us, even now. The night slowly faded into morning, but love stayed standing there.
Some hearts understand sorrow before words are ever spoken. The little dog who felt every goodbye waited near the airport gate, watching all the moving shadows as the hour grew late. He didn't know about departures or flights across the sky. He only knew the peaceful voices would not remain tonight. The monks bent down beside him, one last blessing, one last smile. And suddenly the crowded terminal felt unbearably fragile. People laughed through tears around them, trying not to break apart. But every soul could see devotion living inside that little heart. The little dog who felt every goodbye taught us how deep love can be, how kindness leaves a memory even words cannot reach. The little dog who felt every goodbye cried beneath the airport lights. And somehow all the strangers there started crying too that night. The walk for peace had crossed America, one compassionate mile each day, helping tired and wounded people find a softer kind of way. Some had nearly lost their hope, some had forgotten how to heal. Then mercy entered through the silence and suddenly became real. Now the journey home was waiting, and the final boarding call. But Aloka still kept watching, as though love could stop it all. Maybe animals remember what the restless world forgets. The presence matters deeply, more than power or success. Because peace is not an argument or something grand to prove. Sometimes it's simply standing near the ones we deeply love. The little dog who felt every goodbye still lives inside our minds, a symbol of devotion, too beautiful for time. The little dog who felt every goodbye helped the whole room understand that compassion is remembered long after farewell ends. The planes disappeared into darkness, but his love stayed shining there.
Some journeys end quietly, but their echoes remain forever. After peace walked through our lives, nothing felt the same again. The world still carried sorrow, still carried fear and pain. But somehow hearts grew softer after those compassionate days, like light entering a darkened room in quiet, unexpected ways. The monks moved gently through the country, without anger, without pride, only patience, only kindness, walking slowly side by side. And strangers who once felt forgotten began believing once again that mercy still belongs here among ordinary women and men. After peace walked through our lives, we learned to breathe more slowly. We learned that healing sometimes enters quietly and wholly. After peace walked through our lives, the silence felt less cold, and weary hearts, once closed by sorrow, opened once more to hope. At the airport near the ending, people gathered close in tears, trying hard to hold the feeling they had carried through the years. Stories move between the voices about second chances found, about compassion gently lifting heavy spirits from the ground. And little Aloka by the doorway watched the final boarding line, like he could not understand why beautiful things leave behind. Maybe peace is not a destination, maybe it becomes a way of speaking softer to each other at the ending of the day. Because every step of kindness leaves a footprint in the soul, helping broken hearts remember they were never meant to walk alone. After peace walked through our lives, something sacred chose to stay. Her light still glowing quietly, long after goodbye. After peace walked through our lives, the road did not truly end, because compassion keeps on walking through the hearts it helped to mend. The planes disappeared into darkness, but peace remained with us.
Not every tear is sorrow. Some come from being deeply changed. The airport hall was filled with silence, broken softly by goodbye. People standing close together underneath the midnight sky. Some were smiling through their crying, some just held each other still, trying hard to find the language for emotions words can't fill. The monks moved calmly through the crowd, offering blessings as they passed, while hearts were quietly realizing nothing beautiful can last. And near the gate, faithful Aloka watched them with devoted eyes, as though he felt the sadness long before the final goodbye. Some tears come from gratitude, from kindness deeply known, across the country, through crowded streets and summer rain, helping strangers carry burdens, helping quiet hearts heal pain. Stories travel through the evening about hope returning again, about compassion entering softly where despair had always been. No one there wanted attention, no one cared for pride or fame. They simply gathered in the presence of something gentle and humane. Maybe gratitude is sorrow mixed together with relief, the feeling that your life was changed by unexpected peace. Because some meetings leave a mark too deep for time to erase, and every soul who stood there could still feel that grace. Some tears come from gratitude and filled the airport air that night, as mercy slowly walked away beneath the fading light. Some tears come from gratitude and still fall quietly today, whenever hearts remember kindness that never truly fades away. The night slowly became silent, but gratitude remained. There was something sacred in the silence near the boarding gate that night. The night compassion waited at the gate. People stood with trembling hands, trying hard to say goodbye, trying hard to understand. The monks had walked through towns and cities, bringing calm where fear had grown, helping tired and wounded strangers feel less lost and less alone. Now the airport lights were glowing, cold against the midnight rain, while gratitude and heartbreak moved together through the pain. And faithful little Aloka would not move away from there, like devotion had become a prayer floating softly through the air. The night compassion waited at the gate. Every heart began to slow, because kindness was departing
our eyes. Stories pass between the people about healing and new light, about hope returning quietly through the walk for peace each night. Some had traveled many miles just to stand beside that grace. Some had found forgotten comfort simply looking at those faces. The world outside kept moving quickly, flights arriving, flights departing. But inside that little moment, something timeless had begun. Maybe peace does not arrive loudly. Maybe healing moves this way, through gentle hearts and patient footsteps at the close of weary days. Because every act of mercy leaves a memory in the soul, helping strangers find each other, helping broken spirits heal. The night compassion waited at the gate, still lingers in our hearts somehow, like candlelight after midnight, still softly burning now. The night compassion waited at the gate, changed every soul nearby. And even now we feel that silence beneath the airport sky. The gates eventually closed, but compassion stayed behind. Some roads lead people home, and some roads help people find themselves. The road that brought peace to strangers stretched across the country wide, through busy towns and empty highways, under changing summer skies. The monks kept walking without hurry, carrying kindness mile by mile, and people gathered all around them, drawn by something pure and mild. Some were carrying hidden burdens, some had nearly given up, some had forgotten how compassion feels when life becomes too much. But every gentle step they carried opened hearts along the way, like sunlight entering quietly at the start of day. The road that brought peace to strangers was never only earth and stone. It became a bridge between us, helping lonely souls feel known. At the airport near the ending, people gathered close in tears, sharing stories of their healing and the hope they found this year. Some had driven through the night just to stand beside that grace. Others discovered unexpected comfort inside the calm upon those faces. And little Aloka stayed beside them, watching every final step, like devotion itself was waiting near the slowly closing gate. Maybe peace is not perfection, maybe it begins this way, with patient hearts and simple kindness shared from day to day. Because the world grows softer slowly every time compassion starts, and every peaceful mile they carry still echoes through our hearts. The road that brought peace to strangers continues even now, inside the lives forever changed by mercy's quiet power. The road that brought peace to strangers did not truly disappear, because kindness keeps on walking anywhere love appears. The road faded into darkness, but peace kept moving on.
Before the morning flight home, no one wanted the night to end. The airport lights were softly shining across exhausted, tearful eyes. People standing close together beneath the quiet midnight sky. Some held flowers, some held silence, some held memories in their hands, trying hard to thank the kindness they had finally come to understand. The monks moved gently through the terminal, offering blessings one by one, while hearts were slowly breaking, knowing morning soon would come. And faithful little
together through the tears and tired smiles. The walk for peace had crossed America, helping wounded hearts believe that kindness still survives this world, no matter how hard life can be. Stories rose throughout the evening about healing and renewed grace, about lonely souls discovering hope inside calm and gentle faces. No one cared about attention or recognition or fame, only gratitude and sorrow quietly moving through the pain. Maybe peace is something fragile, something easily ignored, until it finally stands beside us and opens hidden doors. Because every act of mercy leaves a light within the soul, helping people feel connected, helping broken spirits heal and grow. Before the morning flight home, something sacred filled the night, a reminder love still matters in a weary, restless life. Before the morning flight home, compassion touched us deeply there, and every heart beneath that ceiling left transformed somehow. Morning slowly came in silence, but peace remained behind. Some people leave quietly, but their absence fills the whole room. The kindness we were not ready to lose stood beneath the airport lights, surrounded by exhausted faces and hearts too full that night. The monks moved calmly through the silence, offering blessings one by one, while people tried to hide the sorrow, knowing the journey home had come. Some carried stories of their healing, some carried gratitude and tears. Some said hope had slowly returned after lonely, heavy years. And faithful little Aloka stayed close beside the gate, watching every gentle movement as though love could change fate. The kind Peace crossed crowded highways, through the heat and through the rain, carrying calm into tired lives, carrying comfort through the pain. No loud speeches, no grand promises, only patience day by day, only mercy walking softly along the long American way. People gathered from far places just to stand beside that grace. And somewhere in the airport silence, love was written on each face. Maybe kindness feels so sacred because this world can feel so cold, and gentle souls remind us there is still goodness left to hold. Because every act of compassion leaves a memory in the heart that keeps on softly glowing long after people part. The kindness we were not ready to lose still walks beside us now, in gentle words and open hearts, in every silent vow. The kindness we were not ready to lose did not disappear that night. It became a living lantern, still carrying peace and light. The airport slowly emptied, but kindness stayed behind.
He stood there quietly, as though he understood everything. Aloka beneath the leaving sky, watch the final boarding line, while strangers wiped away their tears and tried to smile one final time. The monks moved gently through the airport, peaceful even in goodbye, like calm lanterns in the darkness beneath the sleepless midnight sky. Some people held each other softly, some simply stared ahead, trying hard to hold the feeling of all the healing words unsaid. And through the noise of rolling suitcases, one small faithful soul remained, as if devotion itself was waiting inside the sorrow and the pain. Aloka beneath the leaving sky, cried for something pure and kind, a peace that touched so many hearts and changed so many lives. Aloka beneath the leaving sky,
that love does not need language to be deeply felt and held. The walk for peace had crossed America, one compassionate mile each day, helping lonely, tired people find a softer kind of way. Stories move throughout the gathering about mercy and renewed grace, about how silence sometimes heals us more than words can ever say. No one wanted that night ending, no one wanted peace to go, and somehow faithful little Aloka seemed to feel it most of all. Maybe animals remember what the restless world forgets, that presence matters deeply more than power or success, because compassion is not theory. It lives inside the heart and leaves behind a sacred ache whenever gentle souls depart. Aloka beneath the leaving sky still lingers in our minds, a symbol of devotion, too beautiful for time. Aloka beneath the leaving sky reminds us even now that love remains beside us long after goodbye. The planes disappeared into darkness, but his loyalty remained. Some journeys do not change the world loudly. They change it heart by heart. Where thousands found a softer heart, the walk for peace moved quietly across crowded roads and restless towns, with patience and humility. The monks carried no possessions, only calmness in their eyes, and somehow weary strangers began to feel alive. Some arrived carrying sorrow, some carried years of hidden pain. Some had nearly stopped believing they could ever heal again. But mercy walked beside them slowly, step by compassionate step, and opened small forgotten places inside hearts long neglected. Where thousands found a softer heart, hope returned again, like a morning light through heavy clouds after years of rain. Where thousands found a softer heart, compassion gently grew, and people who once felt alone felt deeply understood. At the airport near the ending, people gathered close in tears, sharing stories they had found throughout the years. Some traveled all the way from Canada, some through storms from far away, just to stand beside the kindness before the monks departed. And little Aloka waited near them, watching every final move, like he understood the sadness of something beautiful leaving too soon. Maybe peace begins in silence, maybe healing starts this way, through patient hearts and humble footsteps at the close of weary days. Because every act of mercy leaves a light within the soul, helping strangers rediscover what it means to feel whole. The journey still goes on, inside the lives forever changed, long after they are gone. Where thousands found a softer heart, the world became less cold, because kindness walked among us and touched the human soul. The road disappeared into darkness, but compassion stayed behind. The night was growing quieter, no one was ready to leave. One last blessing before dawn, one last embrace beneath the lights. People gathered near the terminal, holding tears throughout the night. The monk stood calm among the sadness, offering peace through every smile, while grateful hearts tried desperately to remain there just a while. Stories floated through the silence about healing and renewed grace, about compassion gently changing the sadness written on each face. And somewhere near the boarding gate, faithful little Aloka stayed, watching every passing moment as if afraid of what would fade. One last blessing before dawn, before the planes cross through the sky, before the quiet airport hall learn the weight of goodbye. One last blessing before dawn still echoes in the soul, like candlelight surviving softly, long after night grows cold. The walk for peace had crossed the country, helping strangers feel less lost, showing kindness still exists here, no matter what the cost. had nearly lost all hope before compassion reached their pain. Then mercy entered through the silence, and nothing felt the same again. No one there cared about status or attention or applause. Only gratitude and sorrow for the peace they almost lost. Maybe sacred moments happen not beneath cathedral domes, but in ordinary places where compassion makes its home. Because every quiet blessing leaves a footprint in the heart that keeps on softly glowing even after people part. One last blessing before dawn still lives inside us now, a gentle light through difficult days, a calm we still allow. One last blessing before dawn changed every soul nearby, and peace remained among us even after goodbye. Morning slowly reached the windows, but the night stayed in our hearts.
Some roads never truly end, they continue inside the people they change. The walk for peace still lives here, in quiet hearts across the land, in gentler voices, softer moments, in strangers learning to understand. The monks walked slowly through America, without anger, without pride, only patience, only kindness, carried mile by mile. Some people came searching for healing, some came searching for release, some discovered hope returning, simply standing near that peace. And even now the memory lingers, like candlelight after rain, a reminder compassion matters, even in a world of pain. The walk for peace inside the weary souls who learn
that kindness can be enough. The walk for peace still lives here,
though the journey reached its end,
because mercy keeps on traveling through the hearts it helped to mend.
at the airport near the farewell,
people gathered close in tears, sharing stories of the healing they had carried through the years.
some traveled many miles to see them.
Some arrived there by surprise,
Yet everyone beneath that ceiling
felt transformed that night.
little Aloka near the doorway
Watch the final boarding line.
light devotion itself was grieving
Underneath the midnight sky.
maybe peace
This is not perfection. Maybe it begins this way.
through simple acts of human kindness,
Shared from day to day.
because every step of mercy
Leaves a light within the soul, helping lonely hearts remember they were never meant to walk alone. The walk for peace still lives here, in every gentle word we say,
in every act of compassion
along the ordinary way. The walk for peace still lives here,
and always will.
and always will somehow, because peace once carried through this world still walks among us now. The road disappeared into darkness, but peace never truly left.
They never raise their voices, yet somehow hearts began to listen. When the quiet ones changed the world, they did it slowly, step by step, walking through the noise and sorrow with compassion, not regret. The monks crossed crowded roads and highways, without anger, without pride. Only patience, only kindness, carried gently side by side. Some people came searching for answers, some arrived carrying pain, some had nearly lost all hope before mercy came again. And through small towns and restless cities, peace moves softly through the air, like a calm light in the darkness, meeting people everywhere. When the quiet ones changed the world, no thunder filled the sky, only weary hearts awakening, strangers learning how to cry. When the quiet ones changed the world, compassion became real, and broken souls once hidden finally began to heal. At the airport near the ending, people gathered close in tears, sharing stories of the healing they had carried through the years. The monks stood calm beneath the lightning, offering blessings one by one, while nobody wanted to accept that the journey home had come. Faithful little Aloka stayed beside the boarding line, watching every peaceful movement underneath the midnight sky. Maybe healing enters softly, without glory, without fame. Maybe kindness changes people more than power ever can. Because peace does not arrive loudly, it moves quietly through the soul, leaving traces of compassion that continue making people whole. When the quiet ones changed the world became less cold, and lonely hearts discovered there was still goodness left to hold. When the quiet ones changed the world, their footsteps did not end, because mercy keeps on walking through the hearts they held to mend. The road disappeared behind them, but peace remained.
The airport lights were fading slowly, but no one moved toward the door. No one wanted the night to end, no one wanted goodbye. People stood beside each other underneath the sleepless sky. The monks moved gently through the silence, offering blessings calm and warm, while grateful hearts tried holding on to the peace they'd finally found. Some had traveled through the darkness just to stand beside that grace. Some had carried years of sorrow before compassion touched their pain. And faithful little Aloka stayed close beside the gate, as if devotion itself was hoping love could somehow change fate. No one wanted the night to end, like mercy in the air. No one wanted the night to end, no one wanted to let go, because kindness had awakened something beautiful in the soul. The walk for peace crossed America, one patient mile each day, helping weary, lonely strangers find a softer, kinder way. Stories move between the people about healing and renewed hope, about learning how to breathe again, about finally being able to cope. The airport felt suspended somehow outside ordinary time, like every heart was trying to hold a moment too sacred to define. Maybe some nights stay forever inside the memory of the soul, because compassion touched us deeply and quietly made us whole. And maybe every peaceful blessing leaves a light that never fades, even after roads divide us, even after goodbye. No one wanted the night to end, but morning slowly came, and though the planes disappeared, our hearts were not the same. No one wanted the night to end, yet peace still lingers here inside every life awakened by kindness and sincere tears. The terminal slowly emptied, but love remained awake. Some goodbyes happen quietly, but stay with us forever. The heart's waiting beyond the gate, stood trembling in the airport light, holding gratitude and sorrow through the middle of the night. The monks walked calmly toward departure, with peaceful stillness in their eyes, while people tried to hold the feeling before the final goodbye. Some carried stories of healing, some carried hope restored, some simply wanted one more moment before peace walked out the door. And faithful little Aloka watched beside the moving line, as though love itself was grieving underneath the midnight sky. The heart's waiting beyond the gate, learn how deeply kindness stays, even after gentle souls continue on their way. Crowded roads and summer rain, helping strangers carry burdens, helping wounded hearts heal pain. No loud promises were spoken, no grand speeches filled the room. Only patience, only mercy, quietly helping flowers bloom. And somehow in that tired terminal, among the tears and airport signs, something sacred moved between us, beyond all space and time. Maybe peace is not possession, maybe it cannot remain, but every act of compassion leaves a light beyond the pain. Because hearts once touched by kindness, never fully close again, they become softer toward others, more willing to understand. The hearts waiting beyond the gate still remember that long night when mercy stood among us beneath the fading lights. The hearts waiting beyond the gate carry peace within them still, and every soul once changed by kindness always will. The gate slowly closed behind them, but compassion stayed nearby.
There are moments so human, the whole world seems to stop breathing. The moment the airport fell silent, no one knew what to say. People stood with tearful faces, watching peace walk away. The monks moved softly through the terminal, offering blessings calm and slow, while hearts beneath the airport ceiling struggle deeply, letting go. Some had followed every footstep of the long walk through the land. Some had found forgotten healing simply through compassion's hand. And faithful little Aloka stayed close beside the gate, like he could feel the sadness before anyone spoke its name. The moment the airport fell silent, every soul could feel the ache, because
each other softly, like family returning home. The walk for peace had crossed America, helping tired hearts believe that mercy still survives this world, no matter how hard life can be. Stories floated through the evening about hope renewed again, about learning how to soften after years of hidden pain. No one cared about attention or recognition or fame, only gratitude and sorrow quietly moving through the pain. Maybe sacred moments happen in places we least expect, like airport halls after midnight, filled with tears and deep respect. Because compassion moves among us in ordinary human space, leaving behind small acts of healing that time cannot erase. The moment the airport fell silent still echoes in our hearts today, a reminder peace can find us even in goodbye. The moment the airport fell silent, love remained beneath the sky, and every soul who stood there grieving left transformed that night. The planes disappeared into darkness, but silence stayed alive. Long after the tears had faded, he was still standing there, and still the peace dog waited near the quiet boarding gate, watching empty moving hallways long after it grew late. The monks had boarded in silence, the final blessings had been said, yet faithful little Aloka could not leave the place they left. People slowly walked toward exits, holding memories in their hands, some still wiping tears away, trying hard to understand how a compassion once again, and still the peace dog waited beneath the fading airport lights, as though love itself was lingering in the middle of the night. And still the peace dog waited, teaching every heart nearby that devotion does not vanish, even after goodbye. The walk for peace crossed America, one compassionate mile each day, helping weary, wounded strangers find a softer, kinder way. Some discovered hope returning, some found healing in the calm, some simply felt less lonely, walking beside peaceful hearts. And somewhere in the airport silence, after all the crowds were gone, Aloka still stood waiting, like love itself, holding on. Maybe animals remember what the restless world forgets, that kindness matters deeply, more than power or success. Because every act of mercy leaves a memory in the soul, helping broken hearts remember they were never meant to walk alone. And still the peace dog waited, even after night grew cold, a symbol of faithful compassion, too beautiful to hold. And still the peace dog waited, and somehow through his eyes the whole world learned how deeply a gentle goodbye can cry. The airport slowly faded into silence, but his love remained there still. No one spoke above a whisper in the fading evening light. Only hearts were softly breaking at the edge of one more night. We gathered close beside the doorway, holding memories in our hands. How a simple walk for kindness could awaken so much grace. How a peaceful voice in silence could forever change a place. There were tears beside the laughter, there were blessings in the air, and every soul that stood together felt the sacred presence there. Every goodbye became a prayer, floating softly through the air. Every trembling hand and heartbeat carried love beyond despair. Though the road was leading onward, though the night was drawing near, something holy stayed among us, even through the falling tears. And in that quiet moment there, every goodbye became a prayer. Some had traveled across oceans just to stand beside the light. Some had followed every live stream, every peaceful step each night. People spoke of healing slowly, of the hope they thought was gone, of a window opening gently after years of holding on. Even Aloka by the doorway could not hide the ache inside. He kept watching all the monks leave with confusion in his eyes, as if love itself was asking why the beautiful must fly. But maybe peace was never leaving, maybe kindness never ends, maybe every road of mercy simply bends and bends again. For the hearts that once awakened cannot return to who they were. Once compassion moves within you, even silence can be heard. So we stood beneath the airport lights like family in the rain, thanking them for every blessing, though goodbye still carried pain. Every goodbye became a prayer, soft as candlelight and air. Every tear became a river, washing sorrow into care. Though tomorrow waits without them, still their footsteps will remain in the lives they touched with mercy, in the hearts they helped reclaim. And somewhere far beyond despair, every goodbye became a prayer. The night grew quiet after leaving, but no one truly walked alone, because peace had passed between us and somehow become our own. together in the fading light, watching the hours quietly disappear. Nobody wanted to say the words aloud, because goodbye was already here. The airport echoed with trembling voices, soft laughter trying to hide the pain. One more picture before the leaving, one more moment we could retain. And all around those peaceful faces were hearts too full to understand how people who once were strangers had become a family again. We're gonna miss you so much, more than these tears can say. You walked across our hurting world and brought a little peace our way. We're gonna miss your kindness, your blessings and your light, the gentle way you showed us how compassion survives the night. And though tomorrow calls you onward, part of you will always stay inside the hearts you awakened along the way. Some had followed every footstep from another state or distant town. Some arrived only for this evening, still they felt their spirits found. Stories filled the crowded room about healing, hope and grace, about broken lives made softer by the calm within your face. Even Aloka could not hide it, every soul could see the truth. Love was standing near the doorway, afraid of losing something beautiful. Maybe peace is not a destination, maybe it lives in how we care. In every patient word of mercy, in every burden that we share. Maybe those who walk with kindness never truly walk away, because their light keeps growing quietly long after they have gone away. We're gonna miss you so much, every blessing, every smile, every peaceful step you carried across another weary mile. We're gonna miss the feeling that hope was finally near, the way your silence healed us, the way your presence calmed our fear. And though the night is slowly closing, love remains beyond the pain. For every soul you touched with mercy, never be the same. Safe travels through the darkness, safe travels through the dawn. The road may carry you onward, but your peace still carries on. You never asked for recognition, never tried to lead the crowd. You simply walked in quiet mercy while the world was spinning loud. Through little towns and restless cities, across the heat and summer air, people found a kind of healing simply because you were there. Some were carrying years of sorrow, some had almost lost their way, but your silence felt like shelter at the ending of the day. Your footsteps left kindness everywhere, like candlelight in hidden rooms, like gentle rain on weary flowers, quietly helping hearts to bloom. Your footsteps left kindness everywhere, across the roads of fear and pain. And though tonight you journey onward, your peace will still remain. The airport lights were cold and restless, but love was gathered at the gate. Hands were trembling through the laughter, trying hard to separate. Aloka watched with aching eyes, as if his soul could understand that compassion was departing toward another distant land. People whispered words of gratitude, some could barely speak at all, because healing often enters softly before the tears begin to fall. The world may praise the loudest voices, but peace arrives another way, in gentle eyes and patient footsteps that help the broken heart stay. every mile you walked in mercy became a bridge for someone lost, a reminder love still matters, no matter what the cost. Your footsteps left kindness everywhere, in every life your presence touched, and even now beneath the sadness we still can feel your love so much. The road ahead may call you onward, beyond the night, beyond the rain, but every soul you healed with compassion will never be the same. Some journeys end in silence, some blessings never end, and kindness keeps on walking long after farewell begins. The night was filled with quiet voices and tired hearts that did not want to part. People holding on to moments like photographs inside the heart. Some had traveled far to meet them, some had followed every mile, some arrived just for this evening. Still they left transformed inside. There were tears beneath the smiling, there was sorrow in the air, but also something calm and hopeful, like compassion lingering there. Not goodbye, just see you later, that's what the gentle voices said, because peace does not stop walking when the road moves on ahead. Not goodbye, just see you later. Love remembers every face, and the kindness shared between us, time can never erase. The monk spoke softly of tomorrow, of returning home again. Yet somehow every heart around them felt connected in the end. Aloka stayed beside the doorway, still refusing to as if loyalty and heartbreak were the only truths he knew. The airport lights kept glowing colder outside the midnight sky, but warmth remained compassion and goodwill. And even when the world keeps changing and every road must someday bend, the peace we carry for each other will keep bringing us back again. Not goodbye, just see you later, somewhere down another road, maybe in another city where more healing will unfold. Not goodbye, just see you later, though tonight we stand apart. The walk for peace keeps moving onward inside every awakened heart. The night slowly faded into morning. The airport grew quiet again, but kindness stayed behind among us, like family, like old friends.
There he stood beneath the departure gate, watching love prepare to leave. A little dog beneath the departure gate, with sorrow shining in his eyes. While strangers move like restless shadows underneath the midnight skies. He didn't understand the schedule or the language of the planes. He only knew the peaceful voices would not be here once again. The monks bent low to softly greet him, one last touch before goodbye. And suddenly the crowded airport felt too heavy deep inside. A little dog beneath the departure gate taught us what devotion means, how love can hold so tightly to the gentle and serene. He waited there in silence while the whole world rushed around, and somehow through his heartbreak something sacred could be found. The people watched with tearful faces. Some were laughing through the pain, some kept whispering safe travels again and again and again. The walk for peace had ended softly, but its spirit lingered near inside the hearts of weary strangers.
after parting, and even after tears, mercy leaves a light behind it that outlives passing years. A little dog beneath the departure gate still lives inside our hearts tonight, a symbol of faithful love, standing underneath the light. And though the road keeps turning onward, beyond what we can see, the peace we shared in that moment will stay eternally. The airport slowly faded into silence, but somewhere in the quiet air, a little dog still waits for kindness, like a prayer standing there. The night we couldn't stop crying, the airport lights burned low. People stood beside each other, afraid to let them go. Some were smiling through the sadness, some just stared into the floor, trying hard to hold the feeling a little longer than before. The monk stood calm among the sorrow, like candles in the rain, offering blessings through the silence, while hearts were breaking quietly again. It was the night we couldn't stop crying, the night goodbye became too real. Every voice was soft and trembling, every wound began to heal. And somewhere near the crowded doorway, a faithful little soul still stayed, as if love itself was pleading for compassion not to fade. People spoke of roads and healing, of the hope they thought had died, of finding peace through simple kindness after years of pain inside. Some had followed every footstep across across the country night by night, watching mercy move through strangers like a gentle living light. And Aloka kept on watching every movement, every face, like he understood the sadness floating softly through the place. Maybe tears are not just sorrow, maybe they are love made known. Maybe hearts become more human when they ache for something gone. Because no one there was mourning, only separation and time, the kind that comes when something sacred touches deeply through the night. It was the night we couldn't stop crying, and maybe that was beautiful too, 'cause love had filled the room so fully. No one knew what else to do. The planes would leave before the morning, but kindness would remain somehow, still breathing through the people who carry peace inside them now. The airport slowly emptied, but no heart left unchanged. After the voices faded and the airport quieted down, people slowly gathered memories like treasures they had found. Some carried photographs and blessings, some carried tears they could not hide, but everyone was holding something the monks had left inside. A softer way of speaking, a calmer way to breathe, a small and steady kindness they never wanted to leave. The peace they left behind still moves through us tonight, like candlelight in darkness, like stars beyond the sky. The peace they left behind still heals what fear once broke, still whispers through the silence with every gentle forgotten hope. Some had nearly lost the courage, simply trying to cope. But the walk for peace reminded them that mercy still survives, that compassion can awaken sleeping goodness in our lives. And somewhere near the empty doorway, Aloka searched the air, as though he still could feel the kindness lingering softly there. Maybe peace is not a moment, maybe it becomes a seed, planted deep within the spirit, growing slowly through our needs. Because every mile of mercy, every blessing, every prayer left something beautiful among us that still remains here. The peace they left behind will never fade away. It lives inside the people who were changed along the way. The peace they left behind still reaches through the pain, and every heart they touched with kindness will never be the same. The airport lights grew dimmer, but peace stayed glowing on. Even after the goodbyes, even after the gates closed, he was still waiting there. The airport had grown quieter, most of the crowd was gone. Only echoes in the hallway and the distant rolling sound. Some people slowly gathered bags, others stared into the night, trying to understand the feeling left behind beneath the lights. But near the empty terminal doorway, one small soul still could not move, watching the place where kindness vanished, as if love might still come through. Aloka still crying, long after the planes were gone, as though his heart remembered something the world keeps moving on from. Aloka still crying beneath the cold airport sky, teaching us how deep compassion lives when we finally say goodbye. The monks had walked across America with peaceful footsteps, day by day, bringing comfort to the weary, helping broken hearts find their way. Some people came from distant places just to stand beside that grace. Some said hope returned within them the moment they saw those faces. And now the night felt strangely empty without the calm those voices gave, only memories softly breathing through the silence that remained. Maybe sorrow is the shadow that love leaves when it moves on. Maybe tears are proof that mercy touched us deeper than we thought, because no one there was crying, only for a simple parting scene. They were grieving the beauty of something rare and deeply seen. Aloka still crying, and somehow we cried too, because every heart that met their kindness didn't know what else to do. The road ahead keeps turning, the world keeps rushing by, but peace still lives inside the tears beneath that airport sky. The lights slowly faded around him, but love stayed shining there.
Everybody smile.
One more picture before goodbye.
The cameras flashed beneath the airport lights, while tired hearts stood close together. People laughing through their sadness, trying to hold on to forever.
One last picture before departure, one last memory before the gate, one last moment frozen softly before love had to separate.
The monks stood calm among the crowd,
With gentle peace upon their faces,
while strangers who had
become family held tears in quiet places. One last group picture before dawn, before the plains and morning skies, before the footsteps disappeared and goodbye filled our eyes. One One last group picture before dawn, while love still filled the air. A moment small and ordinary, yet deeply sacred there.
Some had traveled far to see them,
some had followed every mile, some had only just arrived there. Still they left changed inside.
the walk for peace at open windows, inside hearts tired from pain, showing mercy still exists here, even in a restless age. And somewhere near the moving crowds,
Aloka waited faithfully, as if trying to memorize every face he could still see.
pictures cannot hold a feeling,
But sometimes they can help us stay
connected to the quiet beauty,
that touched our lives that day.
because the camera caught more than faces,
It captured gratitude and grace,
the kind of love that changes people
without leaving a trace. One last group picture before dawn, before the road turned dark again, before the hugs and final blessings, and the slow goodbye began. One last group picture before dawn, still shining in our minds. A memory wrapped in kindness, too beautiful for time. The airport slowly woke to morning, but that picture still remains.
Some people pass through this world unnoticed, and some leave light wherever they go.
You walk through cities and small towns with almost nothing in your hands. Only patience, only kindness, only peace across the land.
People gathered all around you, carrying burdens hidden deep, searching for a little comfort, searching for a little peace.
And somehow through your gentle silence, through each blessing, through each mile, you reminded tired hearts everywhere how to breathe again and smile. Thank you for walking with humanity, through sorrow, through fear, through pain. Thank you for showing compassion can still make broken spirits whole again.
Thank you for walking with humanity, with humble footsteps day by day,
leaving mercy in the hearts of strangers long after you walked away.
farewell in the airport. Tears were shining everywhere. People speaking words of gratitude like prayers floating in the air.
Some came all the way from Canada, some from Florida through the rain. Some discovered hope returning after years of silent pain.
Even faithful little Aloka could not bear to say goodbye, standing near the gate in sorrow underneath the midnight sky.
Maybe healing starts with listening. Maybe peace begins this way, through simple acts of human kindness shared between us every day.
Because the world grows softer slowly every time compassion starts, and every peaceful step you carry still echoes through our hearts.
Thank you for walking with humanity, for every blessing, every smile, for every weary soul you comforted across another mile. Thank you for walking with humanity.
Though tonight the journey ends, your kindness keeps on traveling through the hearts you helped to mend. The road continues far beyond us, but your light remains behind.
The lights were fading in the terminal hall. Quiet footsteps moving past the walls. No one wanted the moment to end. Not the strangers, not the friends. And somewhere beneath the airport sky, a little soul began to cry. We stood together near the gate that night, holding tears beneath the fluorescent light. Monks were smiling soft and kind, but sorrow moved through every mind. One last picture, one last wave, one last blessing hearts would save. The room was full of trembling hands, trying hard to understand how peace could walk so far away and leave us standing there to pray. When Aloka cried at the airport, every heart began to break. He knew love was leaving slowly with every step the monks would take. No words could calm the sadness, no laughter stop the rain. Even silence in that moment was whispering their names. And somewhere between goodbye and grace, we saw compassion's face.
Some had traveled many miles just to see those gentle smiles. Some came searching for relief from lonely years and hidden grief.
The walk for peace had touched their lives, brought weary spirits back alive. A window opened in the dark, a small and quiet sacred spark. And through the noise of rolling bags and all the airport signs and flags, a faithful dog refused to move because his heart already knew. He tried to follow through the line, past the gates and warning signs, as if love could stop a plane or hold forever what must change. People left and people cried, trying hard to say goodbye, but underneath the human pain was gratitude that still remained. For every blessing, every mile, every peaceful step and smile. When Aloka cried at the airport, we all cried a little too, because love becomes a mirror when it's pure and kind and true. The monks walked on through silence toward another distant shore, but the peace they left within us will remain forevermore. And somewhere beyond the midnight sky, their prayers are still alive. Goodbye is only for a moment. Love remembers every face, and even in an airport hallway, heaven leaves a little grace.
There was a silence in the airport, heavy as the evening rain. No one knew how to hold the moment before goodbye became pain. The monks stood near the moving crowd with tired smiles and gentle eyes. After miles of walking softly under endless changing skies, people gathered close around them, holding memories in their hands, trying hard to thank the kindness that had traveled through the land. Then a little dog came closer, quiet tears inside his soul, watching every step in sorrow as the final boarding called. He was the dog who wouldn't let peace leave, standing at the gate beneath the lights, as if love could stop the airplanes from disappearing in the night. He followed every blessing, every slow and sacred step, and all the hearts around him knew this love would not forget. Sometimes the purest prayers we see never speak at all. Some were crying softly, laughing, trying not to fall apart. Some were whispering safe travels with broken voices from the heart. The walk for peace had changed them deeply, open windows in the dark, lit forgotten rooms within them, like a small eternal spark. And Aloka kept on waiting near the line for TSA, like he still believed compassion could somehow decide to stay. Maybe animals remember what the restless world forgets. Maybe love does not need language to hold sorrow in its chest, because he knew before the others something holy moved away, and his heart refused to leave it at the ending of the day. He was the dog who wouldn't let peace leave, crying underneath the airport sky, while strangers held each other closely, trying hard not to cry. But the footsteps of compassion still remain within us now. In every life that felt their mercy, in every silent bow, and somewhere far beyond our grief, peace still walks the earth. The planes disappeared in darkness, but kindness stayed behind, and a little dog beside the gate still lingers in our minds. Tonight the candles burn a little lower. Tonight the room feels small and warm. Outside the world keeps moving quickly, but here our hearts are holding on. They gathered in the temple softly, volunteers and weary souls, people who had come for healing, people trying to feel whole. Some came all the way from Canada, some from Florida through the rain, just to stand beside the kindness before the monks returned again. Stories rose like quiet rivers about hope they thought had died, about finding peace through hardship and light after long nights. This is the last night of the walk for peace. One final song before goodbye, one final prayer beneath the ceiling, one final tear beneath the sky. But every step across America still echoes through the
footprint. Time can never steal. They spoke about the roads behind them, the miles walked through heat and storm, about strangers becoming family, about broken spirits being reborn. There were smiles between the sadness, there was laughter through the tears, and somewhere near the crowded doorway, Aloka watched with quiet fear, as if he knew tomorrow morning would take the peaceful voices far, leaving only fading memories and prayers beneath the stars. But maybe peace is never ending, maybe love survives the miles, maybe every gentle blessing life's forever in our lives, and maybe those who walk for mercy leave the world more soft and kind, like candles glowing in the darkness long after they stop shining bright. This is the last night of the walk for peace, but not the ending of the road. 'Cause every soul you touched with kindness now carries part of what you showed. The world still aches with sorrow, still searching for the light, but tonight we learn compassion can survive even goodbye. The room grew quiet after midnight, the candles slowly faded low, but somewhere in the sleeping darkness, the walk for peace still goes. He watched the doorway quietly, like he was listening to the wind. Before a single word was spoken, his heart already knew. The room was full of nervous laughter, phones and pictures everywhere, people trying to hold the moment like a prayer held in the air. The monks moved softly through the crowd, with tired smiles and peaceful eyes, but something underneath the surface felt too painful to disguise. And there beside the moving suitcases, near the slowly closing line. Aloka stood in heavy silence, as if reading every sign. He knew they were leaving before anyone spoke goodbye. He felt the ache of distance beneath the airport sky. He knew love was changing. He knew the night would end, and somehow in his sorrow he broke our hearts again. Because the purest souls can see what words refuse to say. Some were thanking them for healing, some for helping them survive. Some said hope had finally returned after years of feeling tired. Stories filled the crowded hallway about compassion and grace, about peace walking through America and changing every place. Still he watched the monks so closely, never wanting them to go, like a child afraid of losing the only light he knows. Maybe love is more than language, maybe hearts can understand what the world keeps trying to bury beneath schedules, noise and plans. Because he cried before the leaving, before the final boarding call. And suddenly every stranger started crying too. Stays here, but the kindness they awakened still lives deep inside our souls. And somewhere beyond this ending, peace continues on. The gate finally closed behind them, but his eyes stayed fixed above, as though he still believed somehow the world could stop for love. The airport was full of tears tonight. Beneath the tired fluorescent glow, people trying hard to smile, even while letting go. Suitcases roll through crowded hallways, boarding calls fill the air, but all anyone could truly notice was the heartbreak gathered there. The monk stood calm among the sadness, offering blessings through the pain, while strangers held each other softly, like they might not meet again. The airport was full of tears tonight, full of love that could not hide, full of grateful hearts still trembling at the moment of goodbye. And somewhere near the crowded gate, a little dog refused to leave, as though his soul was holding on to every peaceful memory. Some are driven through the darkness just to stand beside the light. Some had crossed from distant places, only to be there that night. Stories rose like whispered prayers about healing and renewed hope, about lives once lost in sorrow, learning once again to cope. And through the noise of moving people, one emotion filled the room, the aching weight of knowing morning would arrive too soon. Maybe kindness changes people more than sermons ever could. Maybe simply being present is enough to plant the good, because the walk for peace was never only footsteps on the land. It became a bridge between us, a language every heart could understand. The airport was full of tears tonight, but also full of grace, because compassion leaves a memory time can never they carried through this world will never truly die. The lights grew dim after midnight, the hallways slowly emptied out, but love remained there in the silence, without a single doubt.
There are roads that carry sorrow. There are roads that carry light. And somewhere through the heart of America, peace walked quietly at night. They carried almost nothing with them, only kindness in their hands, walking through the noise and anger, across divided lands. Some people came with questions, some arrived with hidden pain, some had almost lost their faith in goodness living still again. But the monks kept walking softly, step by step through heat and rain, and strangers slowly gathered just to feel that peace again. Peace walked across America, one quiet mile at a time, through restless towns and broken spirits, through fear and troubled minds. Peace walked across America, not with power, not with pride, but with compassion for the weary and mercy for the tired, and every heart that saw those footsteps still carries them tonight. At temples small and crowded airports, people stood with tearful eyes, trying hard to thank the kindness before the final goodbye. Stories fill the evening softly, about healing and new grace, about how silence can awaken the light inside a human face. Even little Aloka waited near the gates beneath the sky, like he knew the world felt different when peaceful souls walked by. Maybe peace is not a slogan, maybe it begins this way, with gentle words and patient footsteps that help another soul stay. Because compassion moves in silence, long before the world can see, and sometimes healing enters quietly, like breath beside the sea. Peace walked across America and left its lights behind, inside the hearts of lonely people who thought they lost their way in life. God
will keep on growing yet. The road disappeared into darkness, but peace still walks within us now.
You watched him walking toward the gate, like his whole heart was following behind. The crowd kept moving through the terminal, rolling bags and boarding lines. But one small soul stood frozen, like he was running out of time. The monks bent down beside him, one last blessing, one last smile. And suddenly the weight of leaving filled the airport aisle. People laughed through quiet heartbreak, trying not to fall apart. But every tear around that moment came from somewhere deep inside the heart. He wanted to follow the monks home, past the gates and through the sky, as if love could stop the leaving, as if kindness never had to say goodbye. He wanted to follow the monks home, and somehow he understood, because every soul that met their peace wanted to stay there too. Some came from across the country, some had driven through the night, some arrived with years of sorrow, searching for a little light. The walk for peace, it changed them more than words could ever explain. Like finding calm after a lifetime of carrying hidden pain. And Aloka near the doorway would not move or turn away, like devotion had become his language at the ending of the day. Maybe loyalty is sacred, maybe love remembers truth long before the mind can reason or the world demands its proof. 'Cause something pure was breaking underneath the airport lights. Not despair, but tender gratitude, wrapped inside goodbye. He wanted to follow the monks home, and all of us did too, because peace had touched our tired hearts in ways we never knew. Though tomorrow waits without them, still their mercy carries on, like footsteps in the human spirit, long after they are gone. The gate finally closed behind them, but love stayed standing there.
Some journeys are forgotten quickly, but some become a light for others. People came carrying burdens invisible to every eye, years of quiet disappointment, questions asking why. Some had lost faith in tomorrow, some had forgotten how to pray, some were simply searching for kindness in a world that felt far away. Then peace arrived without thunder, no promises, no grand display, only gentle footsteps moving, one compassionate mile each day. This is where thousands found light, in the silence, in the grace, in the calm of humble voices, and the kindness in each face. This is where thousands found light, after years of fear and pain. And though tonight the road is ending, hope still remains. The farewell gathering was crowded, filled with tears and gratitude, stories rising like soft rivers, changing every mood. Some came all the way from Canada, some from Florida through the rain, just to stand beside the mercy before the monks went home again. Even Aloka by the doorway seemed unable to let go, as if love itself was grieving at the thought of seeing them go. Maybe healing starts in silence, maybe peace begins this way, with patient hearts and open hands, choosing kindness every day. And maybe every soul awakened becomes a lantern in the night, carrying forward what was given until the world grows bright. This is where thousands found light, not in power, not in fame, but in compassion, walking gently through the sorrow and the pain. This is where thousands found light, and that light still carries on inside the hearts forever changed, long after they are gone. The road disappeared into darkness, but the light stayed here with us.
They did not arrive with thunder, no banners in the sky, only quiet robes and gentle eyes, and peace that moved nearby. They walked through crowded cities, through storms and burning heat, carrying silence like a lantern, with every patient step and breath. Some people came out searching for answers they could not explain. Others only needed comfort after years of hidden pain. They were the monks who carried silence and light through the noise of a wounded land, teaching hearts to soften slowly. Without demanding, they understand. They were the monks who carried silence and light and kindness everywhere they'd go, like candles moving through the darkness, helping weary spirits glow. At temples and airport hallways, people gathered close to them, sharing stories, tears, and gratitude, like long-forgotten friends. The walk for peace became a river, flowing quietly through lives, awakening forgotten mercy, helping hope survive. And little Aloka near the doorway watched them with devoted eyes, as though he knew compassion deeply beyond all words and signs. Maybe silence holds a wisdom that the restless world forgets. Maybe healing enters softly, without noise or regret. Because every gentle blessing, every calm and humble prayer, left traces in the human spirit, still breathing in the air. Their journey changed us all, not through power, not through glory, but through kindness, standing tall. They were the monks who carried silence and light, and though tonight they've traveled on, their mercy keeps on walking inside every heart they've touched. The road disappeared behind them, but the light remains ahead.
through the airport late at night. People gathered near the entrance, holding tears beneath the lights. The monks moved calmly through the crowd, offering blessings one by one, while hearts were quietly breaking, knowing morning soon would come. Some tried smiling through the sadness, some could barely speak at all, because peace had walked among them, and now peace was leaving through the hall. When peace had to board the plane, the whole room felt the ache, like kindness was departing slowly. With every step they take, when peace had to board the plane, even strangers held each other tight, trying hard to carry mercy into the coming night. People spoke about the healing, about hope returning again, about how simple compassion can reach the deepest pain. Some had traveled from far places just to stand beside the light. Others found the gathering by chance, yet stayed there through the night. And Aloka near the terminal could not understand goodbye, only that the peaceful voices were fading from his side. Maybe peace was never meant to stay forever in one place. Maybe it keeps moving onward from heart to heart through grace, because every soul awakened becomes part of the road ahead, carrying small acts of mercy wherever they are led. When peace had to board the plane, something changed in all of us. The world felt softer for a moment, gentler somehow because of